we might be spiritually attacked after prayer retreat.
I can fall into this trap of, I've had enough, God, so therefore I can just sort of walk without him for a bit.
I'm going to give my life over to you, God. Your way of doing things is so much better than my way of doing things. Is insane.
Like, I don't hear it with my ear balls, but like I hear it with my with my mind balls.
And then I got weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Not Common Sense podcast. As I start this as you're taking a sip of coffee and really loving it. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jess.
And today, this is the Not Common Sense podcast, where we talk about the not common sense teachings that Jesus had, such as, well, pretty much just his upside down kingdom, and the first will be last will be first. That being one of the not common sense things that he taught. Mm-hmm. And also, this is also an honest exploration of our journey through Christ as a married couple and as individuals. I will say that was the worst one out of the 4 times that we've tried this. But it got there.
But you forgot to record the first one, so...
Yeah.
Such is life.
Such is life. So today I probably want to try to reflect a little bit, use this first part of the episode to reflect a bit about the past 2 episodes that we've had. We haven't actually had a chance to do that.
Right.
Yeah. So going back to the Santham Grove episode, which is episode 3, you can check it out.
Wow, so that's 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we can talk about a little bit about, if there's anything that you want to wrap up on the last episode too.
Okay.
Episode 4, I mean. But
cool.
The last episode.
Great. Will you lead us?
Okay. So, yeah, how did you find the prayer retreat after we came back? Because then we went straight into making another podcast where we talk about your suffering. But there were some things to talk about when we came back from a prayer retreat, which is every single time we go to a lot of people will report this, that every single time you go to a prayer retreat, you kind of get spiritually attacked afterward. Mm-hmm. And that kind of happened to us. So maybe we'll delve into that. Yeah,
well, I think I was preparing for it. Like, I was already prepared, and I told you, I was like, just so you know, this is what it will could be like. I said that we might be spiritually attacked after the prayer retreat, and you were like, what does that look like? And I said that it could be anything from having arguments to feeling emotionally just... You okay?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. Emotionally...
You looked at the cat walking around and you said, "Are you okay?"
You've got a lot of movement going on over there. You're trying to adjust things.
I'm trying to adjust the place for the cat to sit if he wants to.
Okay. Well, spiritual attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So spiritual attacks do happen have always happened for me after every prayer retreat. So anytime that I'm taking an active step forward, there's always kind of a step back, 2 steps forward. Wait, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back? Is that the same?
Yeah, I think we kind of have to... I don't think it's ever going backward, though. I think it's just being... It's like you take 2 steps forward and then you get pushed by the wind sideways.
Yeah, okay, that's a great way of putting it. It feels like you are so entrenched and in a new space, and you're safe in that space, and it feels like the enemy wants to knock you over.
Yeah, that's it.
And actively tries to.
Yeah, so a giant gust of wind. Yeah, that's probably a really good analogy. No, yeah. Because sometimes I say analogies and sometimes they don't make any sense, but sometimes they do. And the more I think about it, I am proud of the ones that do. Yeah, it did feel like a big gust of wind because we were a little bit off kilter for a little while, and probably personally, I think I can fall into this trap of I've had enough, God, so therefore I can just sort of walk without him for a bit.
Yeah.
I'll walk without checking back in.
Yeah, I've made that
actively.
mistake.
Yeah.
Before, yeah.
And well, the week after the Santham Grove episode, and we came back from the prayer retreat, I had 3 or 4 jobs during that week that had to be wrapped up, and a lot was riding on me essentially. So retreat and then straight back into work.
And full time, late nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, big work.
Yeah, and I don't know, all throughout the time I'm praying and things like that, but I just there were opportunities for me to talk about Jesus, and I think I didn't take those opportunities as much as I could have.
Oh.
Because I think having, for me, it probably worked to a degree, the attack, where I came back from the prayer retreat on fire.
Yeah.
And then it was like immediately on the other side of the spectrum where like it's kind of a very jarring position to be in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I've also never seen you not take those opportunities, especially lately. You've been actively like...
Yeah, I think
taking
work and like the work life that I have is a bit more separated, at least for the past few years. Has always been separated from like my spiritual side or my Jesus side.
Right. And that's a hard place for everyone to live, because everybody does. Like, you live, if you work in just a regular secular job, I mean, if you work in a church, then that'd be...
Yeah, you can make your whole life Jesus, and people don't expect anything less from that.
Right.
Less from you.
But in like your average job, yeah, you're going to have to run into people of all walks of life.
Exactly. And me being in the film industry and in Melbourne, Australia, I feel like it's just not a massive thing unless like it's not normal to talk about God and Jesus, at least in my experience.
Right.
And I think Melbourne, Australia has this very secular, in the most secular kind of definition of the word, where things are in its silos. And
Right.
so like if you're a church freak, you're a church freak. If you're if you're an artsy person, you're an artsy person. And like those things don't often interlap or overlap.
Interlap.
Interweave.
Interlock,
yeah.
Overlap is right.
Overweave, yeah.
Okay, right.
But yeah, that was my experience after the thing. And then I
What opportunities didn't you take?
well, there was I probably don't want to get into it here on the podcast, but
Okay.
it was just times where like, people are struggling, and it's like a colleague, but I don't really know the colleague that very well. And there've been other, it's just people I meet that, it's not like I felt a prompting, but it was like, if I was in a more of a churchy setting, I probably would have brought it up.
I think it must be hard though, going from such like prayer retreat is like the ultimate Christian like silo.
Yeah.
Like, because actually most of the people there are elderly.
Yeah.
And you've got all of these amazing people who have lived a life, like a full life of just serving and doing amazing things for Jesus. And then you kind of come in as the young ones and you're like immersed in this world of just Jesus and prayer and serving and wisdom and different personalities, but everybody being kind and taking each other as they are.
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful place. And then to go to like a normal setting must be really jarring.
Well, I don't want to use the word normal.
Regular. Like, I don't know.
That's the same word.
I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't want to use the word normal because when you
Worldly.
say normal, it automatically puts the Christian worldview to the side and says that's not normal.
Right.
When it should be normal as well. They both should be normal.
Should be common. So uncommon. Not common
Yeah,
sense.
maybe, yeah.
Podcast.
It's maybe, yeah, it's not common. It is not common. Yeah.
Right, okay.
It is uncommon. Yeah, I can say not uncommon in this
Okay,
sense.
we're getting off track.
Yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Right. Okay. I had a place I was going with that, but it's gone.
Like
if
bringing the prayer retreat mentality of like the silo, I guess the bubble,
Yeah.
into a not typically common place to bring it into.
Right. I think that, yeah, because then you're suddenly in another space which you're immersed in. For me, like, I came back from the prayer retreat and I was like, if an opportunity arises, I want to take it. And so even just yesterday, I met a lovely woman at the gym, and this happens to me a lot actually, where people, I'll start a conversation with somebody, or they'll start a conversation with me, and then suddenly I know about somebody who's dying. Like, there's a lot of people dying out there, honestly.
Yeah.
There's so many family members, so many like tragedies that are happening. Everybody knows somebody who's going through a tragedy, and every time I seem to talk to somebody that I don't know, I end up finding out their tragedy, finding out about it. And this random woman, you know, I found out about a tragedy happening in her life, and I just said, you know, okay, I'll what's their name? I'll put them on my prayer wall. And they're like, what? And I'm like, well, I'm Christian, so I'm going to put them on my prayer wall, and then I'm going to pray about them. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, and that's the end of that. And that's how I start off so much of my interactions talking about Jesus. But that's also me going into a space for a time with people that I don't know, and my career is not like riding on it. That's at the gym.
And also you probably
you know?
never, I mean, like the gym.
If it goes badly, no consequences.
Yeah, and also like you probably didn't have any time when that wasn't the case either, where like the gym was only for the gym. It's kind of like you're walking into the gym, this new gym as well, as somebody who is a Christian. So like you're already intentionally starting that off as a Christian.
No, I think I have lately because but no, I went to the gym.
Yeah, but for me, like my like film industry work has been here before I was even a Christian.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I know how I act. Or even like not even just before I was Christian, but also as a young Christian,
right,
where I kind of conform to their worldview more so than bringing my worldview with me.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like it's still a jarring thing for me, like being so strongly like on like wanting to proclaim the gospel to Jesus, and then walking into a place where historically I'm not seen as a Jesus person.
Right. Okay. It's just hard for me to grasp. I think I haven't been in like that space for
I think a lot of people would actually grasp what I'm trying to say. I think it's a very normal position. And I think before I said that, like, you know, just bring the gospel to... Oh, here he is. Bring the gospel to the workplace. But it's like it's harder than it is. Than I guess I maybe say it is sometimes.
What stops you? Is it just that the space doesn't really allow for it, or you'd have to force it in?
Probably. Yeah, and also you're working with these people, like you don't want to overstep as well.
Right.
I think it's also kind of a half of it.
Especially if they're like higher up in the industry.
Yeah.
Big consequences if you do.
Yeah.
And that's a problem.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do have church hurt where people's beliefs are being forced onto them.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I should say that like the best way to, if like what I sort of decided to do was just be loving and be the light, the salt, I guess. So like I didn't have to like intentionally try to proclaim the gospel, but like if somebody looked at how I worked and looked at the way I worked, it would be different.
And enough to plant a seed.
Yeah, and enough to plant a seed. Yeah.
But what if they don't know why you have that light? They just assume it's...
Well, if they ever ask, and I do wear a cross.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, that was kind of like my week after.
Right.
And then I realized like, yeah, there still has to be some melding that has to happen a little bit between my two worlds and my two walks of life. So yeah, maybe I need to work on that first before telling others to try to proclaim the gospel everywhere.
Yeah. Fair.
So yeah, it's a bit of a humbling moment, but it's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Yeah, that's part of the journey, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it's good that you've learned something from that. I don't know what I learned from that week. I mean, the week after. I know what I learned from the prayer retreat, but coming back, it was so odd for me, you being back at work and me feeling so lost. Like, as the days went on, I was just like, wait, I used to do things. What did I used to do? Where's Zill? Like, because we hang out together like all the time, which is not common for most married couples, if you're not looking at me, I can't tell that you're paying attention to me. Stop paying attention to the cat. I don't know what I'm talking about. I get distracted.
Yeah, Tigger's just licking himself.
Yeah. So invasive.
Yeah.
I don't know. What was I saying? Something. I don't know.
I
Something
was
about our
missing.
marriage.
I was missing, and we spent a lot of time together, so it was weird
Yeah, that
being
is
away
weird.
from each other.
Yeah. Well,
Was that it?
pretty much. Yeah, like as the days went on,
So you got increasingly more weird, right?
disjointed. Yeah, like I hadn't had enough social time, and then I felt like I was so aware that every single time I've done a prayer retreat, I've ended up being spiritually attacked in some way. That the first 2 weeks I was like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to, sorry, first 2 days. Yeah, I said, it's not going to happen. Like, I'm just going to be immersed in the word. And then I got weird when you were out of the house for 24 hours, 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then I was like, who am I? And why am I reading this book? And for me, I think it's if I can't apply the knowledge, if I can't speak about it, if I can't
Yeah, because you are a verbal analyzer, a verbal
processor.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can't do that, I kind of get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the world. So that happened. And then we had the next podcast. Yeah. But spiritual attacks have happened every single time I've gone on a prayer retreat. It is something to note that it can be a really difficult thing to go through. But it's almost like you need to continue that prayer. You need to be aware of it. And
also we need to say that spiritual attacks are, yes, we can expect them, but also it kind of means that you're on the right track.
yeah.
Like the devil doesn't want you to keep on going that way, so it tries to blow you over.
Yeah. And I've been blown over before. Like I've fallen into really almost deep depression the week after. I've been like, I don't understand why. When I had such a high, maybe I've just thrown off my brain chemicals.
Yeah.
But there's something like it's being placed on me.
Yeah, well, but God is the great allower, right? That's what one of our mentors said. He's the great allower. So he's allowing the spiritual attack to happen. There is a reason. So we're going to this prayer retreat to, yes, like soak in all of God's goodness and also the plans for our lives. But also he allows the spiritual attack so that we can learn from it and also kind of apply the things that we're learning as well.
I think it's too easy to be immersed in that silo and then to go back and be like what you said, which is that I spend enough time with God. I don't need him.
Yeah.
And then when you're spiritually attacked, you're like, wait, I really need God. I know what life is like without him.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, he's if with everything that's bad, everything that the devil tries to do or whatever, God uses that for good. So if you have that faith that God is going to use the week that I'm being spiritually attacked for good, then you can start seeing the wheat for the chaff.
What does that mean? Describe further.
We've tried to do this podcast like 3 times. Each time it kept failing because we either get annoyed with each other or I'd get annoyed at you.
I believe it is called Zilhetatanti.
Yeah. So I mean, this week, I should clarify. This week we've tried to do it like 3 times.
Yes.
Or maybe 2 times. I don't know, 1 time. I don't know. 2 times, I think. And like we could just go, oh, it's a spiritual attack, or, whatever. Like it will happen when it happens. But the spiritual attack, or it's not going to plan, or like we're getting in our own way for a reason. And the reason that I found out how God has used like us not being able to do this is that I can realize that I've been sleepwalking a little bit, thinking that I can do things just coasting through without going back to him to tell me like what I need to do. And secondly, like delving further into the word a little bit, and for me it was learning specifically, not without going into like a Bible study here, specifically how to have conflict or have correction and discipline be applied in a Christian-like way. Which for me, my heart, I think, was wrong. But
can you explain that like journey that you went through?
Yeah, I don't want to get into like the Bible study, but okay, yeah. God kind of spoke to me yesterday. It was 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse something. Actually, I got it here.
You'll find out.
2 Corinthians 7, verse 9 and 10. And this is Paul talking to Corinth with his second letter after he had corrected them. And Paul is repentant, not of the letter itself, but of the fact that it made them sorry or made them feel grievance. So he repented of that, but only for a time until their sorrow turned to their own repentance. So he kind of holds both the emotion of how they're going to be corrected and disciplined, but then also knows that if he does it from a posture of him just wanting to show them the abundance of God's love, it's okay to do that, to correct them. Because in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, going back a little bit, 4, for out of affliction and anguish of heart I wrote unto you with many tears, not that ye should be grieved, but that ye may know the love which I have more abundantly unto you. So it's like, show the love first, show lots of love, and correct them if necessary, but then also hold that correcting them could actually lead them to feel really bad. And not just to continually
Yes.
correct them.
And that was the issue that we had this week.
Yeah.
In which you kept correcting me, and you do tend to correct me and then overcorrect me.
Yeah.
And then kind of get a little bit more intense or exasperated each and every time.
Yeah.
And I am a particularly disjointed... No, okay, hang on. Let me find a better word to describe myself. Distractible human. And so I can understand how I'm like frustrating or annoying, especially with the ADHD. Like, I don't want to do some of the things that I do, but I naturally do them and then immediately go, whoops. And when you tell me about them, that's great. But then if you tell me about them and then tell me about them and tell me about them, I'm just like, I'm a failure as a human. And the telling me about it first, if it's done in a kind way, is incredibly constructive, because I'm going to take it on board and I really do put your opinion on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Or on a respective pedestal. Yeah.
The right way, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I trust that it's the right way.
Yes.
Yeah, which is under God, obviously, but also
Yes.
not under anything that's not God from
Well,
God.
when you say it kindly and when you say it from the right place, which is the God place, it is there from not, I am annoyed with you with how you're acting. Maybe you are, but it's more so like how you're behaving is actually not entirely indicative of who I know you to be and who I know you can be. And so I'm going to give you this correction and you're going to thrive under it.
Yeah.
It goes quickly from thriving to you are doing the wrong thing. You are terrible. It's kind of, that's how it feels. And
yeah, so I guess the first couple of times where like I'm patient, I'm very patient,
Yeah.
and I want you to succeed.
yeah.
And then eventually
there's so much
it becomes just annoyance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just my own flesh, I guess.
Well, especially when I'm trying my best, but my best is not good enough. Because sometimes it's not. Sometimes my best is an issue that I've had for a very long time and I'm really trying to work at it, but it is something that is grating on you again and again and again and again. And then, the 70th time you're going to snap. However, when you snap, it's not helpful.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And then in that same verse, chapter 7, verse 10, for godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, is not to be repented of, but the sorrow of the world worketh death. So, my worldly grievance of you is working death to our marriage in a very dramatic way.
Right, okay. So we had this issue right throughout the week.
Yeah.
And I was actually, I believe, very stern but patient and unhappy with you. And then you went away and spent time with God.
Yeah.
Which I did tell you to do. I was like, absolutely not. We're not having this discussion anymore. Go talk to God and get yourself right.
Yeah.
And you did. and this is what God told you?
Yeah. Yeah, I just I just opened up the Bible, and this time no like verses or chapters kind of came out at me. I just kind of opened it up.
Yeah.
And then just started reading. And then eventually I like hit a bump and I was like, oh, there's something there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what reading the Bible is great for doing. It's like God can just jump out of the pages for you and you know it's right.
Yeah. How long did you spend in the Word before that happened?
Well, probably like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, not even that.
But still, some people are just like, I'm going to open the Bible and it's immediately going to speak to me.
And that's not the case
sometimes. It takes a little bit
Yeah,
longer.
Exactly.
You need to actually meditate on it. You need to spend some time with it. 10 minutes can feel like a million hours to some people sometimes.
Yeah. But the best thing to do is just open it up and just start reading. And yeah, that's because like I don't read 2 Corinthians. I read 1 Corinthians generally if I'm wanting to read the Bible, because like that's got all the meat in there. But the 2 Corinthians is like kind of him reflecting on his first thing.
Yeah.
And there are some things in there. And I am reading the King James version, so it's a bit harder to find. And this version is quite old, where there's no chapter headings or anything. So it's just the text. But yeah, like it just jumped out at me, and I was like, okay, that's something there. Because I'm also looking. I had a question of like, how do I not get angry or frustrated, or like how do I? What is the best way to like argue or have conflict or something like that? Those are my questions going through my mind. And then I just kept reading and reading and reading. And eventually I hit that speed bump where I'm like, okay, there's something there.
Right.
Yeah. Hit the turn off, I guess. Maybe that's what it's called.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. And for me, it comes to, we have conversations that go round and round and round. And we both think that we are correct, because ultimately sometimes we both are correct. And we're not willing to budge. We're very stubborn.
Yeah.
But we often do see it from other people, each other's point of view, but we don't understand that the other person is seeing it from our point of view.
Yeah.
Because we're not communicating in the same way. And we never do, we never have. And when it gets to that point, I have like this is the biggest like thing that I have learned is push both of you back to God in that moment. Go, I am not equipped to handle this discussion with my husband. I am now going to say, go get yourself right with God. I'm going to go get myself right with God, and we'll come back together, meet back together and now, because like I can't deal with this.
Yeah, and I pray that eventually I'll just say, yeah, okay, let's do that, instead of going, oh. Because I get so frustrated because I want to say my piece again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was really funny. That was a really funny work discussion. Not funny. It was actually quite traumatizing for our business partner. But
every time.
Yeah, every time we have an argument in our work setting, because we have a production company that we own together.
Yes.
And we're having an argument. And this week,
this is different. It needs to be classified.
Yeah.
It is not entirely a marriage argument or a personal argument. It is two business partners who are entirely comfortable with one another talking about business or ways of operating and it doesn't affect our marriage outside of this.
Yeah, we'll talk about like how we navigate that another day, but we do navigate it in a very good way, I feel like.
At this point,
yeah. But it's not to say that the intimacy that we have in terms of our relationship doesn't come into the discussions that we have as business partners.
Yeah.
So we were having an argument, and I guess what we can probably take away there is that we both need to say our piece of understanding, so that we can understand each other, where we're coming from.
Yeah.
But then stop trying to convince the other one as much. I think right now we're like trying to get ourselves to like understand get the other person to understand our point of view entirely. I feel like that's where we're coming from.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I need you to like step by step say yeah or no throughout this.
Okay.
But then what happened when we both just separated from the conversation and I went on a walk, you went to the bedroom. I was like angry. I walked around in circles for a while, around like a playground. And God told me like something very relevant to the situation, pretty much.
Well, do you want to give it a bit of...
I don't need to give any context, but it was just for a 3-legged stool, if you put all the weight on one leg, of course it's going to break. So that was the word that was given to me.
Just a little bit of context. It was a particular project that I ran away with the creative with and did far too much work, and I felt like you stood back in and left me to do that work. However, you thought that I ran away with the work entirely, and I felt like you stepped away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in essence, we were both right. But like we were both trying to, I guess, get each other to blame the other. I don't know. Like, yeah, we're both trying to put more weight on either person than probably it deserved. Like, it was probably equal weight there. So yeah, I went away. God told me, of course, when you put all the legs, pretty much your point of view, but gave it to me in a very visual and like just knowing sense.
Yeah.
And then I asked, but how about my side of the argument? And he said, I will tell her. And I said, are you sure? And he said, I will.
Yeah, and how did that come to you? In like words, or you just knew, or?
The first one was a visual, and then the asking the question, it was words.
Okay.
And then I came back.
Do you hear the words?
It was like almost.
Okay.
Like, I don't hear it with my ear balls, but like I hear it with my with my mind balls.
That's all right. Makes sense though. I get you.
Yeah, it's like if someone it's like if you skip the eardrum, but then went straight to your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes it sounds like me, sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it I don't know. It's really hard to describe. I mean, you look in the Old Testament, Elijah, or was it Eli? No, Samuel. Sorry, Samuel. Like heard the voice as if it was like in the room, and so it's very possible that God speaks to you as if He's in the room, and that's kind of how I hear it as well, but without the eardrums. Anyway, yeah. So I came back immediately. Not immediately. I like slowly walked back. This is about 2 minutes away. I went for a walk, and you were sitting there with Adelaide discussing I don't know what, and I just apologized for putting so much weight on you, using those exact words, and then you just immediately apologized back, and that was it.
From your point of view.
Yeah, from your point of view, exactly.
From your point of view.
Wait.
You said from you. You're right. From your point of view.
I apologized from your point of view.
No, I'm saying.
Wait, what?
Don't worry. I'm just saying the story. That's all that happened from your point of view.
Yes. But that was kind of it, though, for that conflict. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like that was kind of that. Yeah.
Okay.
So what was that from your point of view?
From my point of view, we went around in circles, and I had already worked out the things that I could have done better next time, and that I did. And you were very stuck on a few things that you weren't able to see past. And I think it just takes you a little bit of time to like stew, honestly. Like you need to stew. You need to step away. You need to spend some time with God. You come back and all is right in the world. You're able to see things clearly. Because as soon as you see things clearly, I can meet you there.
Yeah.
Every time I'm able to like meet you where you're at. But like when you're battling me head on, all I can do is defend myself and be like, absolutely not.
Yeah, and I guess I see that defense as like you pushing back against the things I'm saying, when it's probably just you not wanting to
have a brick wall running at me?
Cede too much ground.
Yeah, sure. We'll put it that way.
What did you say?
I said have a brick wall running at me.
I was imagining like was it the Kool-Aid man, but he's a brick wall.
Yeah, I mean that does feel like your attitude sometimes.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, it's Rip on Zill Day.
Yeah. Apparently, Zill is my other name, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever talked about that, but Zill is, if she ever says Zill, that means me. It's just a pet name.
Yeah. Short for Zilly.
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 And you have the pet name of Jessica.
That's just my name.
Okay, what were we talking about? Were we talking about something else? That was a really big tangent.
Yeah, no. We're talking about spiritual attacks, and then we went into our arguments, which actually ended up happening all this week after we did this podcast, the last podcast, which was the one about my story.
Yeah. So yeah, what sort of
you gotta stop saying that. It's just my life.
Actually. Let's talk about how you were kind of spiritually attacked throughout that whole time, because that's very interesting too.
That was hard. So I actually did not expect that. I think for a bit of context, I have come after my journey, and last week I spoke all about that, about having the chronic pain and how that developed, and that whole story of how just life came to be and being with God through that. But I hadn't actually touched on where I am now, and that, all the stuff that happened with dance when I was 15, that happened when I was 15. And then happened when I was 17. And then I really retired my partying ways and had classic chronic pain that became a management system when I was 21. Now, since then, since 21, 22, 23, that area, I got baptized and truly gave my life to Jesus. And from then on, I've been on this journey of kind of clawing my way back to some kind of sense of normalcy. I gave up on ever having a 9-to-5 job. That was just something I would never have, because I do need to spend, hours in the gym each day, especially if I have pain. I have to stop and I have to rest and then I have to start again. It's a slow process. It sounds like, well, it's a huge amount of work, but sometimes it's actually not. It's just being there and being present at the gym and just trying and keeping that consistency up. There's a management system that has gone into my life since those early days, and God has done so much, and I didn't feel like I touched on that enough. The amount that God has done, because I feel like I can't quantify it in a short story or a short quip. It's
kind of like you have to give the entire context and then go, but God did this.
Yeah. It's kind of like that was everything that was terrible, and then God's brought me to here.
Yeah.
And the journey has taken 9 years, but I am here. And so the space where I am in now is, I wake up each day and I do spend every morning at the gym. And I have a beautiful husband who supports me in that. Who is
this person?
Well, let me introduce you. Here is Mira. But you also you are an amazing person. You do let me sleep whenever I want and don't question that. In the middle of the day, I'm just I'm tired. And you're like, fair enough. And you let me sleep. You also make me food. That's great. Beside the point. Yeah, but I have a beautiful husband. I have a beautiful life. I have a beautiful family. I'm a part owner in a production company. I now work on projects that I want to work on. We're here doing a podcast together. We have a Bible study. We have church. These are things that 10 years ago, unheard of. Me getting to a Bible study each week and that being a concrete thing that I could go to, that's insanity. It wasn't part of my future. It wasn't part of my life. And every single step has been turning back to God and going, what's the next step? And praying about it and being like, okay, the next step is that I'm going to focus on making my bed each day. That's not actually a very hard thing to do with us because you decided that we're not allowed to have top sheets. So it's really just like throwing down the doona. But doing that every day, doing that each day is a discipline and is really hard when you're chronically ill. Like that is actually like, I'm going to get that done at some point today. It becomes a massive thing.
Yeah. And for me, I don't have to do it because it's character building for you.
Oh, okay. It's character building. Glad to hear it.
No, that's really good to hear because it's like everybody's journey is so different. And to some people, it starts with a Bible study. For you, it's not ended, but like it's the Bible study comes after you've been obedient to God.
For years.
Yeah, for years and years and years and years. So like everybody's journey looks really different. So if somebody can't come to a Bible study or like isn't doing the churchy things, but they're still listening to God and you know that and you talk to them and you know that.
Yeah.
Then no shame, no judgment. It's just they're on a different path to you.
Yeah. I think there was a time where I couldn't go to church, and people be like, oh, we haven't seen you in a while. We'd love to see you at church. And I'd be like, it's just not in the cards for me. And me being a perfectionist, every single thing that I couldn't do, I would take it really hard and to heart. Like, I'm not performing enough. I'm not doing enough, which is really hard when you literally cannot do more and you're trying to do the most that you can do. And if you take a step too far, you will put yourself weeks back.
Yeah.
So if I go, you know what? I can do the dishes today. I'm going to do them. And then you force yourself through that pain to do it. You can't use your hands for 3 days. Great. Like, what am I going to do now?
Use your feet.
What a talent that would be. But that's how life becomes. So you have to be okay with not doing what you want to do and just doing that next thing.
Yeah.
And that is a discipline that took me so many years to learn. And through that, I feel that I can give up my entire life to God because it doesn't matter where I end up. I have come so far from where I was, and He has given me so much in ways of managing my pain, managing my body, managing fluctuations. Like, my aim in life is to be the most stable, unstable person that exists. That's just going to be my dream. And I'm going to keep on going no matter what.
Consistently inconsistent?
Inconsistently consistent? No. Consistently inconsistent. I don't know.
I don't think it goes the other way. I don't think you can be inconsistently consistent. Oh, wait, you can. Hold on. Yeah, you can.
I think it's that one.
Yeah, I think that's what you are.
Yeah. It's just like, no matter what, I'm going to keep going. And I'm only going to do that. And I only do that because of God.
Yeah.
So I turn back to Him and listen to what that next thing is. And God is a gentle God. And loves you so much that He doesn't want you to push yourself past what you can do if it's going to really hurt you.
Yeah.
And
it's like God is so patient with us that we should have the courtesy to also attempt to be patient with Him. Even though we are very impatient beings. We don't know what eternity is like. So we want things now. And
instant gratification all the way.
Yeah. But you've been through this journey where 10 years ago, that's a third of your life. You would not have known where you could end up, but you were patient with Him. In the grand scheme of your life.
He was patient with me.
Exactly. You were both patient with each other, which is good.
I think that
Eventually you were patient with Him. Maybe you weren't at the beginning.
I definitely wasn't at the beginning.
Yeah, maybe not at the beginning.
I was, especially because God, I think, and this is a gift that God has given me in knowing things. And it's not specifically like, the way I described it to Adelaide the other day, is it's not that I know things. It's that the things that I know that are happening in my future that God has given me, and some of them have come to pass and some of them haven't, I see them like if they were all like it was like a Monet painting, and all of them are kind of clumps of bushes. And they're all eternally kind of moving in and out of focus. Like some of them are closer, and if I grab hold of that thing and that's the thing that's happening now, others might shift to kind of accommodate that. Everything's at a different time and space.
I was thinking like a carnival game.
That's actually a really good way to put it. Yeah, that's...
So things are sliding back and forth, back and forth.
Yes. And as you're moving through and making choices, I can see... Like when we started the podcast, everything kind of shifted again. And I was like, oh, okay, that thing that I thought was closer like a few weeks ago is now further away. And that's interesting. So, and God's kind of given me that. And I think he gave me that so that I could always see that there was a future. There are some things that he's given me to know, I feel, to be certain of, so that when you take steps or you start to do things, I'll just know that that's correct, but they're not for me to like open up and talk to you about.
Yeah.
Because then I could sway things.
It is something to be said though. If you're wanting stuff like this, if you're like thinking that would really, really help you, then just pray for it. Like ask God to, if you're struggling and like you don't know if you have a future, ask God to give you these types of things so that you may strengthen yourself in your faith. Because God will, if you sit down and are obedient and listen to him, he will give you what you need to move forward.
Yeah. It's kind of like God giving me praying about being healed, right? And God saying, no, your pain and your story will like help other people. Still waiting for that to happen. It's still part of the future.
Yeah.
I know that it has been something that I've been able to empathize with other people in the church and talk about my story in that space, but it doesn't feel like that has entirely come to fruition yet.
Yeah.
So I do wonder, but...
Well, that's another thing that I'm not sure if I've talked about this in the podcast yet, but it's something that was given to us during our prayer retreat, was this lesson of God is like a candlestick, right? It's like a lighting the way. It's a lantern, and you only see the next few steps ahead of you. That's a Bible verse, I'm pretty sure. But God will also give you the direction in which you need to face. He'll give you the horizon so that you know there is a place to go to, and therefore you can strengthen your faith, and that you know the steps that you're taking with God are going somewhere. It removes any sort of doubt that you could have with the next step, whether you're going to fall into alligator-infested waters, right? In each step, if you know for certain that God has placed in your heart that you are going to be over there, then you know the next few steps and the next 100 steps or 1 billion steps are going to be good steps.
Yeah, even if you kind of fall into a ditch.
Even if you fall into a ditch,
you're
sure,
still moving forward.
Exactly, yeah. Or even if you're going down the stairs, like you know that horizon has been set for you as long as you keep following the path.
Yeah. I mean, if someone is...
And
like,
also, sorry, I need to add.
No, you go.
Keep on refilling that lantern as well so that you can keep seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's important because, well, two things. No, you've put me on a different tangent. Like the renewing of your mind is really important. So, just continuing to go back to that Bible, back to, oh no, I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say that if you're struggling, to ask for faith. Because I really think that God has just strengthened my faith so much in just being able to always see that horizon.
Yeah.
And then he's put me on that pathway of knowing that what I need to do is to renew my mind. And that if I want to get somewhere sooner, then it is turning back to him.
Yeah.
Because, and then that makes me think of the Bible story of, them going to the wilderness for 40 years. And it was an 11-day journey. And
what happened?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just an important story to know.
How is it important to you?
Because I feel like everything that I went through, like I spent this time, I think when I was when I was a teenager, I had this dream. I had this, like, as in it was a literal, like, dream, not a dream as in like a dream when you're
fantasy.
sleeping. It was a fantasy. Yeah.
Right.
It was a fantasy.
Wait, was
like,
it
as in, like, a fantasy, like, if I could. Okay, so, like, when me and Adelaide used to have a really hard day of work, we would sit in the car and we'd go, imagine if we could just go to the movies today. And we'd be like, but we can't. And then we'd like, it was kind of like that kind of fantasy. Yeah. And this fantasy was like, imagine if I was as smart and as clever as I am now, but I was in kindergarten and I could start life again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could be like, I could be in school and I could just succeed at everything, and then I could move through and I could, like, be an actress, like, young, like, as a child, because I was smarter than ever. Like, that was kind of like the fantasy. And I hope I was going there somewhere with that.
How does the 40 years in the desert have anything to do with that?
Because I wanted to go back in time to be able to make things easier for myself.
Yeah, that's a normal hypothetical that a lot of people...
Really?
Yeah, it's a normal fantasy. Not a fantasy, it's a hypothetical that gets thrown out there.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't live in that space anymore. At all.
Okay.
I live in, like, I am so happy that I went through those things when I was younger, because I have a different outlook on life and a different, like, direction that I'm heading in. And the amount that I know God and where he's reached me in all of those dark moments, I'm thankful for those dark moments. As I used to not be. And I definitely don't want to go back there. So once you're at that space where you go, I went through...
Have to go through all that pain again.
You go through all that pain and God brings you out and you're like, cool, God, not going to leave you, because otherwise I'll be back there and I know how dark it gets.
Yeah, so you
see things kind of in the correct way and you're like, I'm going to give my life over to you, God, because your way of doing things is so much better than my way of doing things. My way of doing things is insane. I'm an insane person alone. I am not smart enough to lead my own life, and I do not pretend that I am. So I'm going to give it over to God, and God's going to lead me.
Yeah. Yeah, and every step you've taken
Yeah.
because of God has been like you've been the smartest person around. Yeah.
Renewed. And then you have more
the
strength.
Yeah.
And so the place that I envision for my future is still to come, but I'm still further along than I thought potentially I could be in my darkest moments like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Significantly. And I don't clearly understand how I got here other than God.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like that infinity perspective, the eternity perspective, where it's like your story, like, you know that, like, you kind of have to go through the crucible. You have to go through the fire. Everyone has to go through the fire. Because when you study stories and when you study just story building in general,
Yeah.
there has to be an inciting incident.
Yeah.
For the hero's journey, there has to be an inciting incident that makes them and turns them into the hero that they are. So, and you can't just have that. You kind of need to get that through either your own experiences or even, I mean, like, I think you could if you're just obedient to God, but not many people are like that. Like, God will carry them through that and just place the wisdom in their head. And some people are gifted like that, but...
Well, we're all fallible humans, so...
Yeah, but most people, I would say, have to go through the fire. And that's just kind of if you know that you're, like, it's just like, the more I study stories and what makes a good story, the more I see that God has the best perspective on everyone's story.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, your story is almost not your own. It's only for the glory of God. And if it doesn't have that, then it doesn't have like the human condition at its rawest, at its most understanding, at its most painful. It's like the God perspective.
Yeah, and every story that centers, every person that centers their life around God has a happy ending. That's just a given. Whether, and I'm not talking about material happy endings, but I'm talking about a happy ending that is used for the glory of God, and they end up in the arms of Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's a very...
Well, it's kind of like your darkest... No, what is it? Like your best day without Jesus is... Wait, what is it? Like your best... Yeah, your best day without Jesus is like worse than your worst day with Jesus in your life.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to live without him once you've got him.
Well, what is the Bible verse? It's like... the weakest of God is the strongest of men, or something like that. And the
I really need to read the Bible more.
and the most like something to do with knowledge or wisdom. The most unwise of God is the most knowledgeable of men, or something like that.
Where's that from?
I can't remember. I'll find it.
Okay.
It'll be on the screen. I'm not going to try to search it up now.
Okay.
It's gonna because I feel like I'm getting the words wrong anyway. But yeah, it's probably a good time to end.
Wait, what are we at?
58 minutes.
Okay, well, let me like finish up. Because I was like spiritually attacked throughout the rest of the week, and I never quite got to that, but it's okay. It just, after the podcast last week, and I got, the following day, basically, like after we did the podcast, I got incredibly tired and like so tired. And for me, I was like, I don't know why I'm so exhausted. And I slept right through the night for like 12 to 14 hours. It was like a ridiculous amount of time. And then I woke up and I was still exhausted and I could barely go to the gym, like barely. And I was like almost panicked a little bit because I'm like, I remember this feeling, and this was as bad as I was like years ago, like where every single movement is like lifting lead. Lifting your finger is effort, lifting your wrist is effort, lifting like my arm would be just so heavy. And I immediately knew that I was spiritually attacked because I feel like I have been spiritually attacked through my health before. And I went to the gym on the second day, which I was exhausted, so the Tuesday. And I was there and I'm like, this is too hard. I like have to give up. And then it was kind of like this overwhelming thought, which was, I knew was God, and it was, look how far I've taken you. Like, what are you going to choose? And I was like, yeah, like I'm going to continue to be here. Like, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to die here at the gym. Like, and so everybody's doing like hops and steps and jumps and things in the class. And there's me being like, ugh. Thank God I was at the back of the class, because people would have thought I was having a fit. But I kept going, and it eased off throughout the week. But it was a really hard week. I felt like I almost like descended into like the depths again physically, and it felt like a massive flare up, but there was a choice in it where I could either choose to progress forward and to keep my eyes focused on Jesus and what he has chosen for my life, and that there is a future and that there is something that I am striving towards, or I could resign myself to being just exhausted and just shit. But I didn't.
Yeah. You can either lose your faith or strengthen your faith. That was the choice. There's no middle ground.
Yeah. It felt like I had to make a choice. I had to either say, I'm going to resign myself to this, or I'm going to, even if it is like this, even if it's like this ongoing, I'm going to be fine. I'm still going to rock up. I'm still going to try and do the work. I'm going to try. That's going to be what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that for God. I'm not going to do that for myself. I'm doing that for God. And with that, I had a very quick turnaround.
Yeah.
But then I was like, probably should share that. I also felt like God said, look at how much I've done for you. Look at where you were. Look at where you are now. And you need to share that. Because I didn't feel like I shared that enough.
You feel like you've properly shared that now?
Yes, you can stop. We can stop now.
No, I wasn't trying to rush you down.
It's on the time.
Yeah. No, I will actually say the verse. I found it.
Yeah.
It's 1 Corinthians chapter 1, 25, ESV. For the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and the weakness of God is stronger than men. That's essentially what you were saying. Before.
Yes, but mine just came from innate Jesus.
I have realized you do that a lot, where you have this innate natural law perspective.
Yeah, I do not know the Bible.
Yeah.
But I do know what's right and wrong, and then have no knowledge to back up how I know that.
Even godly wisdom, you do have that.
Well, I prayed for that when I was 12.
Yeah, innately you do, probably just from the story of your life. Because you have, how much God has done for you. You've probably learnt a lot of wisdom along the way for that.
Right. I mean, I'd love to say it was also from the experiences, but I feel like I used to say that. I used to be like, I went through all of these experiences to gain the wisdom that I prayed for, and God gave it to me through life experience. But also, I think that was me choosing sin so that I would gain the knowledge, when I might have actually already had that knowledge in me throughout seeking sin. Yeah. And I learnt to understand that sin. When you started saying, well, that was the original sin.
Yeah.
And you say it like that, like a know-it-all. Oh, that was the original sin that you chose, wasn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. You do not need to go into the world to try and seek out what is evil and what is good.
That flipped my brain.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
Wait, I went through all of that because I put myself through that? I'm a fool.
Yeah. That's a good topic to address another day.
Oh, God.
There's a lot in that. The original sin. Everybody.
A lot of mistakes in that.
Everybody goes through the original sin.
Mm.
Apart from apparently Norm Macdonald.
Who's Norm Macdonald?
Is it Norm Macdonald?
Old Macdonald had a farm. Who's Norm Macdonald?
He was a comedian.
Right.
Anyway, he just knew apparently. Anyway, we'll get into that another day.
Another day.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Everyone have a blessed day.
Everyone have the most blessed day.
Do you want to do a song or no? You've been singing all day.
I don't know what to sing about now.
Sing about your flowers. Your roses here.
Today Silly got me roses. They're really beautiful. I love them in my vase. I'm gonna put them in my room. And they're red like my bedspread. I like my flowers red 'cause they're pretty, and I like them so 'cause they're beautiful.